here to go.
Boy, the customer service out there these days is outstanding.
It is. Well, for some people, it's outstanding. For some other, restaurant establishments, it's quite lacking.
Yeah. Are we going to unveil our new business idea right now?
Oof, I don't know. I mean, it's still in proof of concept, but I mean, I think we kind of proved the concept, in the initial stages, at least on Saturday.
Yeah, we've proven it over and over almost after every ride we've taken, but it's always been at the same place. Those poor people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe we could just start out with them, and they can be our resume builder.
Yeah, we're gonna start a what's it called? Crushing Iron Consulting.
Iron Consulting. Yeah.
And it's a not necessarily just restaurant, but public place of business. How to operate kind of manual.
Mm-hmm.
The good and the bad.
And the ugly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're for some reason we're fascinated by service at restaurants.
Well, we're fascinated by overall customer service.
Yes, this is true.
Treating people, kindly and being, open to people and inviting and not, a robot that's, hey, you want this for here to go? Like, what kind of service is that? Hey, how's it going today? You have any questions about the menu? Oh, okay. And after you order, is that for here to go?
Yeah. If even then, do you even need to ask that question?
Well, I mean, you kind of do, because you need to prepare it in a way that's either going to be in a to-go box or not. So yeah, it is pretty essential.
I think you just hand them a tray and they'll be like, "Oh no, this is for to go." Oh, okay. And then they can answer the question.
I'm not sure if that works in their efficiency zone, but you're heading the right direction.
Yeah, we'll dig deeper. I used to work at a bar way back in the day, and this guy was a stickler for that sort of thing. He wouldn't let us ask, how they used to pour pitchers, and then people, how many glasses do you need with that?
Mm-hmm.
It was a specific rule that we were not supposed to ask how many glasses. He's like, "Don't worry, they'll tell you." I said, "All right."
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so you made up a good point regarding that, because that's sort of what we're trying to do with Crushing Iron, innovative endurance solutions. So
that's right.
A little bit of a consulting operation we got going here in some level, but we're really keeping an eye on how we can help. I mean, that's really the bottom line.
I would say it's exactly what we're doing. I mean, we're offering coaching, camps, swim analysis, the occasional gear. But yeah, I mean, if we generally, besides the coaching, because we're already doing that, kind of what we've created has generally come from the demand or the request of either the athletes that are on our team and that we coach, or people in the forum, or emails from listeners. So yeah, I mean, it's been, just another branch off of what we kind of always want to do is, let the listeners and the athletes drive the conversation and the direction of the podcast to an extent, and then we just kind of do the best we can to get it there to within reason. But I think we've done a pretty good job so far. Yeah,
the athlete demand, I really love that, and it's totally interactive. We're doing that, and little does your wife know that her demand may have created a new line of apparel.
This is true. I mean, listen, she's awesome. I love her to death, obviously, but her distaste and disgust for cargo shorts is totally misguided. Totally misguided.
Oh, no, I love putting that in her face too.
And we had the campers over at the house on Saturday night, and we had some pizza and some sprinkles, and which is ice cream and cupcakes for those that are interested.
Oh, dear God.
And the campers wanted it, so it's the same, just doing it for the campers. And she was commenting on the cargo shorts, and we just say, listen, I think, I'm open to emails and messages, and, we could do pre-order, but, I think that a C26 transition shorts, or we could call them C26 transition trunks.
Transition trunks.
Which I think has a nice little ring to it. And basically, because you when you get to transition in the morning of a big race and you have all this extra stuff to carry, you don't have any pockets because you're wearing spandex. Yep. And then some of you that are listening, don't listen to the advice that we give a lot, and you've already got your wetsuit on. So you're already burning up, and you definitely don't have any pockets, and so you're left with like all this stuff to carry: water bottles, gels, bars, extra clothes, and what the hell to do with this bike? But if you had extra pockets, or gear, like places to clip it on, like some carabiner action, and like it's just a whole. We could even like create a mister for those athletes that feel it necessary to put their wetsuit on in the hotel room to keep them cool. I mean, there's a whole different line. But if you had cargo pockets, then your problem solved. It's hands-free waiting, and and everything now is about hands-free. And so that's what we're doing, trying to create, meet the demand and do the best we can.
Yeah, the side pockets designed specifically for water bottles. I mean, think about that. What that alone would do for people's psyche.
Oh man,
it would take an enormous pressure off of you.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would kind of lead to a PR, but that's just me.
And you had another great innovative idea where you said we could design them with Ironman logos on the inside with room for erasable number writing, and they could turn into your morning bag.
Exactly, your morning clothes bag. The inside liner is Ironman logoed with the blank space for your bib number, and as you strip down your C26 transition trunks and you retie them with our elastic cord, bam, morning clothes bag, cinched. Because let's be honest, when you go back to get that morning clothes bag, bam, now you got shorts on.
Yeah, there you go. You got trunks.
Because after the end of the race, what do you want more? More than anything, you want to get off your tri shorts and get into flip flops. So what do you walk to the swim start with? Shorts and flip flops, baby. And then you get done with the race, you walk over, you get your morning clothes bag. What do? Take all your shit off. Bam. Shorts, flip flops.
You're back in business.
You're back in business, baby.
Yeah, I like the trunks instead of shorts, because a trunk is something you put things in.
Exactly.
So
yeah. The C26 transition trunks coming to a retail store near you.
This is really coming into, focus.
Yeah, it is. And I appreciate the vision and the input that our campers gave on Saturday night, and we'll continue to churn out outstanding ideas like this. And
okay, speaking of camp, our final camp of the year just ended, and can I just say everyone who came to camp, what a positive influence they've had on my life personally. I mean, just the idea that they come into town, into Nashville, and we put a load on their backs, and they smile the whole time with great attitude, and every day getting up at 6 and doing hard work and learning a lot and continually just doing what they want to do. They just go out and try and get better, and we have a great time outside of camp. And I probably shouldn't do this, but yesterday, because I'm part of Crushing Iron and the podcast and everything like that, but I'm also
Whoa. Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
breaking news, spoiler alert, Mike Terrali, part of Crushing Iron.
Well, that's full disclosure, I guess. Full disclosure, I'm on this podcast. But I mean, the bottom line is I am still an age group athlete, who is aspiring to be a coach and things of that nature. And I've been around you for 5 years, listening to you talk about swimming, instructing swimming, watching videos, we just sit around and eat pizza and talk about swimming. And, that's what we've done. And I've been that close to you, and I'm with you all the time. And yesterday, you pulled me out of the water and said, look, we got to fix this. And you're you're my buddy, you're my boy. We've been doing this for a long time, and I thought I had swimming down cold, but you pulled me out of the water and put me back in the water with a little bit of a tweak. Pretty big, important tweak, but it didn't change the way I swam. It didn't do all this other stuff. It just adjusted my current form, and it has, literally, I don't know, changed the way I think about swimming again. I mean, it's just crazy how easy it is to forget, how easy we lose form, and I just, wanted to throw some kudos out there to you for picking that up. And, I really do. I can't imagine, as far as triathlon, open water swimming goes, I mean, I've read a lot and looked at a lot of stuff, and you just really do a nice job of articulating different things that help people. And I fully recommend you as an analysis person. So,
well, thanks. I appreciate your,
and you love it, man.
Your stamp of approval. I do love it.
It's palpable.
It is. I do love it. I feel like it's something that's easily felt by the energy. When I do these, I do. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. My favorite things to do. But yeah, I mean, you can see things from a million different angles. And yesterday, I chose to do more of an on top view, standing on shore, but it still allows me to see different angles and the on top version. And and even with me, like there's a million ways to describe everything, and or analogies, or think of it this way or think of it this way. And sometimes something pops in my head. I'm like, oh, I bet this would be a good way to break it down, because I could just visually see certain things happening with your stroke. That was also happening, it happens with basically everybody's stroke, but yours was, as I was just kind of staring and watching, I was like, oh, I think this may be beneficial. And so, the three of us, worked on that for, a good hour and a half, and it was thankfully it was transformative, for you guys, and it clicked and it made sense. And but yeah, it's all about, repetition and explaining things. But yeah, I mean, it's something I'm passionate about, and, it's not, I'll honestly, for the life of me, never understand why people don't do it. But because if I said, it's funny, because if I said, oh, well, I can change up your bike technique and you'll immediately gain 30 watts, everybody would do it. I mean, I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. Everybody would contact you and be like, oh, I want 30 watts. I want to gain, or you can immediately drop, 10 seconds per mile, or 15 seconds per mile in your, marathon pace just by doing this one little thing. Oh yeah, let me do it. I want it. Cost is insignificant, but people spend so much money on new, not so much new running gear, but, shoes they think they might make them faster than on the bike. I mean, dear Jesus, they'll spend, 300, 400, thousands of dollars sometimes on equipment that they think based on marketing and reviews and stuff like that will make them quote unquote faster. But when it comes to swimming, they've just relegated themselves to mediocrity. And whether it's, I can't really understand it. I mean, to be totally honest with you, that why so many people are, just blasé about it, or if they just accept it and they've just conformed to the mindset and attitude that they just can't get better at swimming. And, they're afraid to, to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's the only one of the three sports that you can literally just change this and this of a technique and save 5, 6, 10, 15 minutes over an Ironman. Fairly easy. And
not to mention energy and anxiety. I mean, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that most of us are late life picker-uppers of swimming, and we've never really experienced, that childhood get on the bike or run around. It's just like you'd splash around in the water, but really the people don't swim, for swimming's sake when they're young.
Right.
I mean, I've took a lesson, but I mean, I think I had to swim across the side of the length of a pool or something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So it wasn't like I swam. So I think there's something about like, well, people just sort of give into it, and I'm here to tell you that you don't have to give in to swimming. I mean, the other thing is about building swim fitness. People aren't used to that, and that's an underrated part of it once you find your stroke and anything like that. But anyway, so last night I was talking to my buddy Kenny, who does our video when we go out and ride Natchez Trace for the camps, and I was trying to talk.
Did you tell him that we caved?
Yeah, he knew, and I said I was sorry about
Just
that.
checking.
He goes, "Oh, he's not. He's not."
What are you apologizing for?
Well, I don't know. He just had high hopes for me, and it's just. I think it's. I know.
That's why it's annoying.
It's true. It's true.
Anyway.
And what we're talking about is we were meatless for 50 or 60 days during this stretch of Louisville training, and we caved on Friday night with steak.
You caved before that.
I caved on Thursday with a can of tuna, and then I went all in on Friday.
you full blown. Yep.
With a steak, and I think I've had another one since then. So whatever. But anyway, I was talking to Kenny.
Talking to Kenny.
Yeah, about it, and I was like, man, you should come watch Ironman Louisville. Come up and watch Robbie and I and everybody that you've met at camp. There's several people that he's met that will be racing, and several that will be spectating and all this sort of thing. And I was trying to explain to him why I think it's such a good time. So, what about you, man? When you kind of try and talk somebody into coming to watch and coming to watch your Ironman, it sounds really boring on the outside, but I got to tell you, I don't think it is. I mean, I really enjoy spectating too.
Yeah, it's definitely not boring, But what I would say is, it will take a decent sized sales pitch on the front end, but in order to make said sales pitch, you, the athlete, have to do your research. You have to, because for every venue is different, and that's what's important is, finding things in the area that the family can go to. So they're not, you want your family to be entertained and feel like they have stuff to do as well. So they're just not following you around the whole time, expecting you to, figure out things to go, and you're not waiting on them. Like for me, the greatest thing for me, like the day before race or, the Friday before is, Allie, you go do your own thing. Here's some things to do. Here's some people to hang out with, which is another part we can probably get into is having other athletes there and families that you can connect with that they can all do things together with, or that they can at least talk to. It makes the days before easier, and it makes race day infinitely more exciting. But, it's like, you guys can do this, you guys can do this, and then we could maybe meet up for lunch, but it's not like they're not depending on you to be entertainment for 72 hours. They can do things, and then on race day, I do a lot of things to kind of help Allie up for, set up her for success, and other family members is, I kind of give them a note card with my estimated time of arrival. And a little kind of parentheses, like for me, for example, I'll do like a swim, like I'd say like 52 to 55 minute swim, having a great day. 55 to like 59 minute swim, having a good day. 1 hour plus, not my best swim. Just so they can kind of have an idea of what to expect from me for the whole race, or just the conditions or everything. And that also gives them a window to wait, because waiting is without question the most boring aspect of racing. But let's say that Allie has me to cheer for coming out of the water, doesn't have to waste any time, can do other things, can watch other people, whether it's pros or other age groupers that then all right, I need to know that when Robbie got in the water, it was 7:30, so I need to be ready between 8:20 and 8:35 to see him come out of the water. So you're not standing and waiting for an hour and a half, hopefully, looking to try and catch you. And it's always more exciting when you have, for Louisville, it's like, all right, I want to make sure I can see Joanne. I want to make sure I can see Mike. I want to make sure I can see Erica. I want to make sure I can see Sarah. And like going down the list of, and the other, people that are doing Louisville, it's like that's what keeps you engaged the whole time instead of just hurry up and wait for a glimpse. And so it's about setting up your family for success with the city and the surroundings and things that can be entertaining. B, allowing them the peace of mind to know when to expect you, but also that you don't expect them to stand on the corner of the race all damn day and wait for you, because that's just stupid, in my opinion. You want them to be ready for the run course. I tell Allie, don't come out to the bike course. Don't come see me. Don't. Just hang out in your hotel room. Get rested, because the run course is where you want to have your energy. See me on the run, see this, see that, because it's the most exciting part besides the swim, in my opinion, to cheer. And so, I kind of say, don't worry about coming to see me. Take a nap, grab some food, rest, and then get ready to run. And this is what my run splits hopefully will be. And these are places you can watch for me. And these are other athletes, families that will be out there too. And that's what makes it all fun, is to like get in a group and do it all together. Because you don't want to make your family feel alone when they're spectating a race. And they don't want to depend on you for all of their entertainment. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do to set your family up for success and really make it actually a really fun experience for them and a less stressful experience for you, the athlete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're doing, at Louisville, we're doing that with a big group of people. So it would be, I was thinking the exact same thing. In a way, it's almost like they need to, even though they're coming to spectate you, there's literally maybe 10 minutes of the day where they'll see you on the course.
Yeah. Yep.
So they have to make it about themselves, and it's really easy to do because there's a lot of, the one thing about it is most people that go watch this stuff are really cool, and they're positive people because they're coming, their child or friends or whatever are they're racing, and they are inspired by that on some level, and just the act of them stepping over that curb sort of to go into that world means they're open-minded. So they're willing to talk and hang out and shoot the shit with you, and if you don't understand the tracking system, which my mother she really worries about that because she's not a technology expert, but she kind of leans on your wife for that, but there's everyone, out of all those people out there, 1 out of every 4 people is going to understand that and really have pretty good beat on it. So, and they love helping you out. Hey, can you check on my son or my friend, and they'll do it. And in general, just walking around the hotels, and for me, a big thing is to, if you're going to go watch it and stay, and I like staying around the action because it's just, the whole drive-in and dealing with the parking and all the messes, that creates a way bigger headache than I think anybody really wants to deal with. But, I get the fact that you might want to save some money and move out or, farther, but the general rule on that is that this is about them. This is a great day for a couple days for them just to explore a new city, meet tons of new people, and if you're only focused on watching somebody race, that can be a real letdown. I think you got to get, just that's what you're saying about all that hurry up and wait and stand around a corner in isolation with 50,000 people cheering and screaming, and you're just kind of looking at your phone. That can be real weird. But
yeah, and I think, and one of the best things I think you can do is connect them with people early on. And we've already had the luxury of that with camp and people coming in. But for you'll be at Wisconsin, and you'll have there'll be a get together, and you'll be able to connect not just the athletes that have already kind of connected on some level, either at camp or through text messages or Facebook or whatever. The athletes will already kind of know of each other. Then they get to meet, and then they're like, bam, now I have a support system. So basically that's when it's time to splinter. The athletes should be with the athletes, and then you're going to have the families or the friends or the significant others of those athletes that then can begin to form their own network. So you've got, Wisconsin, we're going to have 9 athletes racing, their family and friends. We're going to have other athletes that are on our team in town. Going to have you there. So you're looking at like, all right, that's like the perfect example. We'll have that at Louisville too, to a different extent, but at Wisconsin, it's just a great example because we're now creating the people who you should rely on for the remainder of your trip, for communication, for questions, because the last thing that you want to do as a family member or friend is compound the stress and the need for information and the extra thoughts and the extra worry to your racer, whoever that is, whether it's a friend, coworker, whoever. They don't need any more text messages. They don't need any more emails. They don't need any more Facebook messages. They don't need you to question everything they do. What they need is just time to focus on themselves or connect with other racers who can totally relate to what they've been going through, what they're preparing for, what they're both about to do. And then the families and the friends, all right, now it's time for us to share phone numbers. Where do you want to meet for race day? Let's get our own plan. Don't put that on the racer because the racer has enough. It has 140.6 miles of thoughts and problems and scenarios are going over on their head. So the night before, or preferably 2 nights before, or the day before, connect the families, connect the friends, say, all right, let's get on a group thread, a group text message thread, or let's exchange numbers with a few people, and let's find a place to meet at the swim start. And then once you meet at the swim start, in the morning, then after that, you guys can just take it from there. Some people are going to go watch on the bike course, and people are going to stay, probably based on if they have small children or not. But, and it's also, it's a group and it's a family. It's a team event. It really is. It's a team event that got you there. And it should be a team event that keeps everyone there and rallied. The parents or the friends that don't have kids, help out the ones that do, because there's nothing worse for, a parent to be racing and the other parent is with like 2 or 3 kids and they don't have any help. They got nothing. Let's talk about stress. You're basically going to worry about, multiple people all day long. And I can't imagine how that's going to be fun, but if you've got a group there, it's like, all right, well, now we're just going to kind of merge into one Ironman spectating family, and we can all kind of lean each other to help. Do you need food? Do you need food? I'll go grab some food and bring it back. Yeah. And that's what it should be about. It should be because a group effort got you there. Nobody does this alone. It's family and friends that motivate you, that give you time off, that watch your, take the bulk of the parenting while you go out and train. And so set them up for success on race day too, to help their experience out as well. And it'll ultimately help your experience out too.
Yeah. Right. So whatever it is, the Friday or Thursday or Friday that you're coming up there to spectate, the closer it gets to the race, let the athlete kind of get into their own world. But I think from the get-go, if you're spectating, it's sort of a goal to meet as many people as you can, get as many phone numbers, and get as many even other athletes in your tracker, things like that, because you can start creating this. You're not going to maybe end up watching everyone race or whatever, or meeting up with everybody, but I think it's a good idea to just start creating a new community amongst people that you kind of come in line with. And like you're saying, when you leave that swim start, just have different places that are options for meeting as that group. Mm-hmm. It could be the corner of this and that, and it never goes all the way to plan. Sometimes people will be like, I'll meet you there, but then they get, for whatever reason, their person they're watching is having problems, or they get kind of dragged away, it's not personal. It just sort of happens. But just have that option of a sort of a centralized meeting place or 2 or 3, post-race, pre-race, post-race, during race, these kind of things. Just kind of have an outline of everyone you meet is like, hey, stop by, we're going to be doing this. And, you bring your phone charger kind of thing, and, just make sure that's all in line, because that's going to go quick. And
great topic, though. You can't have enough cords.
Yeah.
You really can't. If it's time to, I mean, right now is a perfect time to invest in an extra battery, or make sure you have an extra phone charger or a USB cord or something, because you're gonna like you will reach anxiety level Mach 5 if your phone dies and your athlete is still out on the bike. So prepare yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And I love what you said about the bike too, because I can't ever justify having someone drive 30 miles to come watch me whiz by in 2 seconds.
Me either.
It's very difficult unless they enjoy, like, in Louisville there's LaGrange and there's a couple other places at Wisconsin, and they have these sort of areas out in the middle of the bike course usually where there's a pretty decent sized crowd at gathering. And if you like that atmosphere and you like watching thousands of anonymous cyclists ride by you, then by all means go out and do it. But after the swim, I mean, this is, to me, is like, even watching, and I'm about 50-50. So sometimes I'll go out on the course and watch the cycling. But after that swim, all that anxiety in the morning and that, like, getting up early, and then that energy at the swim start, and the worrying about, the whole thing about getting out of the water, and, and that rush of, like, you're just sitting there and it's so calm and peaceful just looking out the water, and then all of a sudden, bam, everybody starts running out and he's screaming and everybody's like going crazy. And then once your loved one gets on the bike and you watch them take off into the sunset, you've got 6 hours.
Exactly.
To just chill and go back to your room, grab a nice breakfast with all these new friends of yours. And, like, some of them will definitely be going out to watch, and then just kind of go check the town out, go relax, and then kind of just keep an eye on it. It's like I was talking, people watch this race from coffee shops and hotel rooms, on their tractor.
Yeah, they do.
So that's a big part of it. I just want to impress that you don't stand around and watch people run and bike all day. If you shouldn't. You have a technology that lets you know where they're at, and it's kind of exciting to watch and see if they're at the next split, and that becomes a conversation piece. And then you kind of get the idea, is like, we better hurry up and go see him get off the bike and get on the run. And that's like 6 hours later or whatever, 5 or 6 hours or 7 hours later. So you got a whole day almost in there to just chill while they're on the bike. And that is a huge, huge way to enjoy this weekend a lot more. Because the last thing you want to do is scramble to go watch a bike. I don't know.
Yeah, well, the
God
thing
bless
about
the people
scrambling to
who
go
do.
watch
I
the
love
bike
them.
is, I agree with you. But the scramble to go watch the bike and the 2 seconds of excitement you may or because what I like too, and this is probably selfish, is one of the other reasons I like to not have family, or Allie or Hayden trying to make it out there, is I don't want to feel like I should expect them, and that I need to look at them, or I need to search for them in the crowd, and then if they're not there, I need to wonder if they're okay. Or I wonder if they got caught somewhere. I wonder if Hayden's sick, or I wonder if it's like, and it's I guess it's both sides of it's again, it just comes down to minimizing anxiety. Because at Wisconsin, I knew that they weren't going to be out there on the course. So I didn't spend a single second looking here, looking there, looking here. Every time you pass a crowd, I wonder if I can see Allie or Hayden. Take my eyes off the road. No, I don't see him. Or, I thought I was going to see him right here, but they're not there. I wonder if everything's okay. And so it takes you out of your moment into worrying about them. But at the same time, it feels so awesome for me to know, like, after the swim, I know exactly where they are. They're back in the hotel room. They're with other people. They're chilling. They're as close as they can be to their home base, and in a strange city with different places and a bunch of different things to do. The closer you can keep your family to home base and letting them know that that's okay, it's going to make you both, I think, just be more comfortable with the whole situation. And then you're just excited to see them when you get back, because if they go out on the bike course and they don't leave in time and you end up having like a really good bike split, or you're back and they couldn't make the trolley and then you don't see them, then that is kind of disappointing. Because I think my most favorite time to see Allie and Hayden is when I get off the bike and I start the run. Because I know that my race is I'm out of the woods when it comes to like a mechanical or a wreck or a flat tire, whatever it is, and I know that they're okay and that we're almost to the finish. I like that aspect. I know there are other athletes and are probably listening to this episode and thinking, no, but I want them to come out there. And I'm like, and I want them to see, but I'm like, yeah, is that for you or is that for them? Because this is also for them. And you should make that, while yes, this race is about you and your performance, it's also very, very much about rewarding the family and the friends and the children that have taken time out of their lives the previous 6, 8, or even 12 months to help you get to this point. So let's not add more stress and more work for them. Let's let them enjoy. I guess that's what it comes down to. It's like, let them enjoy the same journey that you just had and let it be a celebration for them and make it easy. And I think that's because there is no better part than hanging around the finishing line or hanging around the run course and the swim course. Because that's where the biggest groups of people are going to be, whether it's Wisconsin, Louisville, Chattanooga, whatever it is, whatever Ironman you're doing. The greatest amount of energy you're going to feel are all on either the swim start and the swim finish or coming out of T2 on the run course and at obviously the finish line. And so surrounding them with that energy as much as possible for the entire day, I think is one of the best things that you could do for your family.
Yeah, and let them cut their day in half by relaxing for the bike split. It's just because they'll bring more energy that way too. I think because I've been there where I've spent the whole day out on the bike, and then it's just like it's a never ending. I mean, then it really does become like they are doing an Ironman, and we definitely don't want that. We want them to enjoy the highlights and the best parts of it, and supporting you and giving the good energy when you need it, kind of thing. Instead of turning it into it, because I've done it, man. I've dragged for 16 hours out on that course, and man, it is like because by the end it's just like, please hurry up and finish. It's not even an exciting more, you know what I mean? It's like, can we get this day over more than I'm stoked to see them and happy. It's just the nature of being a human and having 16 or 17 hours of fatigue in your life straight. They're not used to it. I mean, they certainly aren't used to spectating anything that long.
Yep.
Except maybe like cricket matches, if they come from,
nobody's at cricket matches.
Those things can go for a long time.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, nobody wants to beat them because they take forever.
I know, but that's the point. I don't think people actually actively watch the whole time, do they? They just kind of sit up.
It's like NASCAR.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, the first
24
part
hours
is super,
at Le Mans.
Yeah, the first part of NASCAR is super exciting, and then the last 10 laps are exciting. It's very much like Ironman.
That's a pretty good analogy right there.
Yeah.
Except Ironman's like way longer.
Yeah, people just whiz by, and you're like, oh, it's my favorite. There he goes again. There's my favorite. There he goes again. Yeah, it's very much like NASCAR. Pit stop, transition. I mean, yeah, a lot of similarities.
So the time with the athlete is after the race and then Monday. I mean, I think, maybe Thursday, Friday a little bit, but Saturday's kind of the day for them if you're spectating to go out and kind of explore. And again, I can't emphasize that enough. And it's nothing personal. It's just that I seriously stop looking at my phone on Saturday, and then when you kind of get in, I don't know how to handle that one sometimes because I just can't. Thank you. There's sending back a bunch of texts. It's great. I don't know. I guess like when I get back to the room and I lay down, I can kind of just surf around with that. But just so there doesn't have to be any planning or I have to meet all over the place or any of that sort of business. That does sort of add up. So, again, just meet new friends if you're spectating. That's my thing, because there's a lot of really great people there that are in the same boat. Everyone will have a great story about how hard their loved one trained. I promise you that. You can listen to, and you can kind of one up. Everybody can one up each other. Well, I don't know. My son is doing this and whatever. But we're gonna have a lot of that going on at Louisville. We're gonna have a lot of we'll have a lot of synergy among connected people at Louisville, Wisconsin, and probably Chattanooga.
Yep.
Get a hold of us early and often about, connecting, and meet up on Facebook ahead of time. Just start planning it out, because there's a lot to do. There's a lot of cool stuff that surrounds an Ironman.
Ton of stuff to do, yeah.
All good cities that we've been focused on Louisville and Chattanooga and Wisconsin, because that's sort of our bread and butter in a lot of ways, and they're all coming up right now. And I don't know. I just think get in the Crushing Iron group, closed group, and start meeting people too. That's a good way to do it. We have a lot of people in that closed group. You just search Crushing Iron group on Facebook and start meeting people, saying hi, hey, we're coming to spectate. Who's going to be there? Where are you going to be? Where are you staying? And start the process ahead of time.
Yep.
And
totally agree.
I mean, even if you can only meet another person or two, I mean, it adds so much. It sort of snowballs as you kind of start connecting, and then the next thing you know, you're going to be trying to get away from them because there's so many people. I'm just joking.
Oh man, yeah, I was gonna say, let's say that's a joke at least.
Yeah. So what else goes on at these races that people can? Man, and here's the thing: is like, if you've got somebody and you're out there and you're on the fence about, well, I don't know if I want to go and deal with that all day on a Sunday or whatever, and you're thinking about, you got to trim the hedges or whatever. My first invitation to watch a friend at Louisville was 6 years ago, before I knew much about, if anything, about Ironman, and I just knew he was training like a madman. This is Jim, the guy who got me into the sport, and he invited me up, and I think I said I'd go, and then as it got closer, I decided not to. I thought I had something better to do, and it was just something on this normal Sunday, and I blew off the race, and to this day I feel a little bit guilty about it. So I just think that because since then I've been to many, of course, and I've done some, and it's really a great experience. I mean, it's better than your average Sunday. I really think that
that's for sure.
It isn't stressful. It's just kind of cool to check out. It's an experience that I think a lot of people sort of equate it to going to watch a marathon or something. And I can't tell you how much different it is. It's just,
yeah, it's not even close to that. I think that's people who say that aren't.
Well, they don't know any better, and
yeah, they don't know any
the first thing they can grab is like, well, I don't want, it's a marathon, but I got to sit there for 16 hours. That sounds ridiculous. But it's not that at all. There's so much energy around this whole thing. Of course, it doesn't like stay up at a peak energy level, but like you're saying, out of the swim alone is worth the time investment, and leave after that if you want. Because if you get there before the swim and see the faces on all these people that have just put in all this time, and the look in their eyes, and it's sort of like, oh my goodness, here we go, going to do this crazy thing for the next half a day.
Yeah, and I would say, and to that point is spectating needs. And you people that have never spectated before may kind of scoff at this, but athletes who have done an Ironman and especially spectated one, or people who are veteran spectators, you need to physically and nutritionally prepare to spectate. You don't need to train by any means, but you need to. It's almost just as exhausting in a different way spectating as it is participating. It's mentally and emotionally exhausting. And you're up all day long. But anyway, the day before the race and 2 days before, get as much sleep as you can. Hydrate a ton and eat better than you think you should, even though you're on vacation, because the last thing you want to do is feel like crap. Because it will take a lot out of you, and you can kind of, diminish how much by the way you take care of yourself and your body, the days leading up to it, and the things you eat, and how much sleep you try to get. So definitely try to come in rested. I wouldn't spend 12 hours on Saturday going out and seeing the sights and the sounds of your Ironman city. I would maybe see some, but make sure you get back and get some sleep, especially if you've got kids. So, prepare yourself like you have an event, because spectating in itself is an event. It is 100% an event. Like you said, connect with people, prepare, look up things to do, and as the athlete that's listening, taper time is when you can't really stand not doing stuff because your mind has been so focused on training. Now you have all this free time. You're like, now where do I go? Okay, I'm just going to go to the race website and I'm going to stalk this and stalk that and check the weather 17 times a day. And what's the water temperature and what's the forecast and is the athlete guide up to date or what's the time the swim start? Instead of focusing on all the other things that you shouldn't be worried about, take that time during your taper to plan out and help deliver not like a spectating guide, but send some links to your wife or your husband or your friends and family. And here's some good things to do around town. Here are, and this, okay, so this is the best example I can give. So before Allie and I had Hayden, we were living in a different city from my family and her family. So we had no family there. But when people give birth or have a baby, it's it's already a chaotic enough time. But a lot of people have different interpretations and boundaries with their family of how much family they want to be there. We specifically only wanted we wanted to have the first 48 hours to ourselves, no family, no friends, just us. And so, and then we didn't want both sides of our families all coming in town at the exact same time, right after the baby, because we didn't have places for them to stay, in our house. And then it's going to be all of our in-laws and family, getting to hold the baby. It would have created more anxiety and stress than we were already going to have. And so I created this email with what we expected, that we didn't want anybody there for the first 48 hours because that was going to be our family bonding time. Here are places you can stay that are close to our locations, and then here are dates that you're basically allowed to come. But it ended up being perfect because we spaced things out the way we wanted to, and we got ahead of having to tell people no or having to tell people yes, because we had and Allie had a rough childbirth experience, and Hayden was in the NICU for 3 or 4 days, but we didn't have any family in there until 3 days later. But having more people there would have created more stress, and we wanted to limit the amount of stress. And so do kind of the same thing, set some boundaries for your family and friends. Hey, I don't want you to ask me a million questions. Hey, I'd really like it if I could have this time to this time on Friday or Saturday just for me to do my things and kind of get in my own zone. Instead of having your spouse and your kids hanging on every limb, if that's not what you want, but get ahead of it, take some time, put together a nice, polite, formal email with some boundaries, some Ironman boundaries, and set them up for success, for things to do, places to go, what's great, what's not, and then also let them know how you're going to be, especially if you've already done one of these. Do you like time for yourself? Do you like to talk? Do you not like to talk? Set them up for success to help you both out. And that's the communication piece, again, that's really, really, really important to making this a great experience for the athlete and the spectator.
So I've got one little story about, because there are a lot of people that get invited to go watch Ironman, and they really don't have a handle on it, and they could be fence sitters, and it may seem like a more of a pain in the ass than a joyful experience, something that they are forced to do versus whatever. But all right, so every Saturday, I believe, is it usually around noon when they start putting buoys out?
I think it depends, but sometimes it's between anywhere between like noon and 4.
Yeah, so whenever they start like dragging those buoys around, I would suggest taking your maybe least enthused family or friend members down to the water and standing maybe at the end of depending on the course or whatever, but the most daunting place you can stand on the course. And because most will have no clue, they know you swim a lot and they know you spend a lot of time on your bike and whatever, but they don't get the whole scope of what's going on. And I did this with my dad on Saturday at Wisconsin for my first Ironman. We walked from the hotel and we went down to the lake, and they started dragging these buoys around. We were just hanging out with my brother and sister, talking a little bit, and he said, "What's going on out there?" I said, "Well, that's the swim course." And I could see a little light bulb go off in his head, and he said, "Well, where do you swim?" And I pointed all the way across Lake Monona, and we were out way down on the far end of the swim course, and you could barely see the turn buoy, which is, probably 2,000 meters away. I said, well, we start right over here, and then we swim up to that corner, and then across, and then way down here, and we turn here. And it's just an inconceivable swimming distance for 99% of people. And the minute I did that, I could just felt the whole energy in his body change, and then he became invested in what was going on the next morning. Mm-hmm. And you were there with him, I think, for the swim, and I think you can probably attest to the nerve and the anxiety and the overall concern about what was about to happen, especially when that music started and then 2,000 or 2,500 people came walking down in wetsuits, and it's just sort of like a spectacle that not the normal person gets exposed to.
Yeah,
and
totally agree.
I think that is the engagement trick that you can kind of play on somebody to get them like, okay, this is what's going down. You can't see the bike course, obviously, but it's 100 plus miles. So you can kind of fathom that. But the swim itself, and even to me, when I started, that was my first one, and I was pointing that out there, and unbeknownst to him, I was having the same feeling. Like, when you look out at that course the first time, you're like, man, that seems a lot further than a 25-meter pool 40 times or whatever. And the swim can be a great way to engage people in what's going on.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's a really great point.
So, other than that, I think Kenny's actually gonna go.
Yeah, buddy.
He knows a lot of people there, and Kate and Jamie are going to be around, and they're tight, and they got to know each other through Facebook.
Yeah, they'll be handing out celery sticks and carrots on the run course.
Yep, they will, and they'll get to hang out. And I think that it's just a one by one, people start getting into it, and they see it. It's sort of like, wow, this is pretty cool. And I really do. I say this truthfully. I enjoy watching races almost as much as being in them.
Yeah.
When it's done the right way, with a bunch of people around.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
You're putting down the gavel. That's the end of what we need to talk about.
Man, I think that's the best I can cover. I don't know if I have anything other words of wisdom. Do your family a favor. Set them up for success, like they've set you up for success the last 8 to 12 months.
Yeah, right now, create a great weekend for them, and
exactly
surrounding part of your race. But make it a weekend that they can really enjoy. Then they don't have to stress about either.
Yeah.
We talk about don't put stress on the athletes, but like let's let them not stress either, and don't feel obligated to be around us and cater to us the whole time. There's going to be, we're pretty self-sufficient in that way, but be willing to help, but don't feel obligated to do everything for us that weekend either.
Yeah,
because we prepared, and and don't ask tons of. Well, I don't know. I think that's kind of an interesting one for me. Is like, I think most of us like talking about it. It's questions can get overwhelming a little bit towards the race, but in the end, don't feel like afraid to ask a dumb question, I guess is what I'm getting at, because I think that we like talking about it, unless it's like we're trying to sleep before the race, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But for the most part, it's something that we're proud of, and we like helping people understand, and whether it be about tracking or what's going on or the aid stations or what we eat and this sort of thing. I think that's all fun for us. I mean, stuff that we know intimately. Anyway, you sound kind of quiet now. Are you going to take a nap? I'm going out on the bike. Are you going to go nap?
You're going to... No, I'm not taking... Yeah, right, dude. I have lots of things to get done, but no, I think we covered it all, and you know, it's just about you know, taking care of other people, you know, and letting them to, you know, enjoy this experience, because it will, like, in this, we talked about this with Peter before, or when him is like, you know, because his wife was going to come spectate and she's not going to know a lot of people, and like, and honestly, a lot of your race day or race experience, your family race experience, can be solved months and months and months in advance when you pick which race you're going to do. And that's why I always say, you know, and I say this in the How to Pick Races podcast, or How to Plan Your Season, is I say involve your family. Pick a city that intrigues your kids, that intrigues your spouse, things that they can get excited about, because that already makes them want to go, and that already makes them want to have an enjoyable overall journey and experience. And it's something they'll already be excited about, versus you feeling like you have to make it exciting for them. You know, so I'll use Peter as an example. He's like, yeah, you know, I'm doing Atlantic City. My wife, you know, it's a couple cool transitions, but she's not going to know anybody there. Versus him thinking about doing Chattanooga 70.3 next year, A, because his wife went to college at UTC, so she's going to have friends to hang out with. And C, she's familiar with the town. Chattanooga's honestly, it's one of the best venues for family, I think, overall in the Ironman circuit, to be honest with you. So tons of things to do, and we're going to have a ton of athletes there. So she'll have, you know, 10, 15, 20, if not more, other, you know, friends and family and spectators to be there. So total different experience. And so, you know, that's just one of those things, and why I always tell people, involve your family and let them be invested in why you picked what you picked, and not, hey, I'm doing this race in this city, I hope you can support me. You know, that kind of thing.
Yep, I couldn't agree more, buddy.
I mean, that's like, you heard my mom on Saturday night. She was like, I loved Madison. And, you know, she spectated Florida, Louisville, and Madison. She's like, yeah, I could definitely, you know, go back, you know, and do stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it can make or break their experience, and how they kind of see the other experiences unfolding. So, hey, if you're planning on doing this for a while, you may want to invest in the best first spectating race you can imagine to help. Because if you think you're going to be hooked, it's time to start hooking your family, because you're going to need that support, you know, in the coming months and coming years, more than not.
All right. If you have any questions about coaching or camps or swim analysis or any of that business, go to crushingiron.com. We have all the information there now. If you like this podcast, or you've been listening a while and you're like, hey, man, how can we, you know, keep sure these guys keep doing it and support them? We have a little Patreon page at patreon.com/crushingiron. A couple bucks a month or something if you feel like helping out the podcast. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like I said, I always say we're just going to keep doing it because we love it, but it does help us. You know, we're trying to do this full time, and we're putting a lot of stuff out there. So anything helps. What else? Crushing Iron group on Facebook. Just search that. It's our closed group. Start meeting people, getting engaged in this process. Be spectators.
Yeah.
Set your spectator friends up with people that are going to be at these races. We're going to have tons of people at Wisconsin, Louisville, and Chattanooga.
Yep.
So that's a great in. If nothing else, that might be the advice. We can be hopefully be the connecting piece here.
Exactly. Do what we can.
Doing what we can. Are you going to go design cargo trunks?
Dude, I'm in my brain's trunks. Yeah, dude, I'm already. The wheels are a turning.
Oh, I can't wait to see what you come up with.
I know, man.
Keep
I do have
clean,
to give a
but
quick.
Flashy.
Exactly. Yeah, clean but flashy. I do want to give a special shout out to all of our. Well, I don't know if it's a shout out, but. Supportive shout out, I guess, to all of our athletes in Texas and the Houston area.
Oh yeah, man.
That are being affected by just the ridiculous amounts of flooding. And anybody listening, honestly, if you're out there listening and you're in Houston, hang in there, be tough, keep your wetsuit handy.
Man,
one of our athletes, Summer, I texted them to see how they were going, and she just snuck out of the house for a 3-mile run before it started to pour again. But she's swimming, kind of running around, and to see all the flood and the damage, and it's just pretty crazy. Pretty crazy there. So hang in there, and hopefully our podcast can help take some of the the stress away from what I'm sure is a very stressful time for those in the Houston area in Texas.
Yeah. Sending love all over.
Sending love.
Okay, buddy. Well, I guess I will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. This is podcast number 80 something. Oh, we're making making daily videos still on our 100 days to Louisville. We've made like 53 of them.
Yeah,
so follow Crushing Iron or subscribe on YouTube. Crushing Iron on YouTube. I don't know. We're all over the place out there.
Yeah,
so.
We're all over. Just search. Yeah, we're all over.
I was talking to them. One quick thing, because about.
Oh, geez.
There's just here we go. So we're many of these things, and I feel like but I know it's a long one. I was talking to Kenny about this too. Is like now if you're on LinkedIn, which is that professional thing, now it's turning into Facebook. It's just like what? How many of these do we need? I don't know. Facebook for ties.
Okay. Sure.
That's it. What a great way to end it.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing it home.
Yeah. Any other questions? If you have any questions about any of this stuff, email c26coach@gmail.com. Camps, swim analysis, you name it.
Yeah,
coaching.
If anybody's actually still listening to the podcast and hasn't deleted it yet since we're in overtime, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bonus cast.
Hit us up. Yeah, the bonus.
The LinkedIn bonus cast.
LinkedIn bonus cast. Yep. Hit us up for any questions, camps, clinics, coaching, and swim analysis. c26coach@gmail.com.
Yep. Any general questions, crushingiron@gmail.com.
Or complaints. Crushingiron@gmail.com.
Yeah, or long-winded theories.
Yeah, please send all long-winded theories or just general distaste for carnivorous activity to crushingiron@gmail.com.
Oh boy. All right, I can't wait. It's been a pleasure as always, buddy.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, see you, man.